Alright, good evening. We are live. I see Stefan is probably already here and Beta Carotene is here. Who is new to the channel perhaps? At least the name doesn't ring a bell. Let's open up tonight's drink. And yeah, wait until a handful more people drop in. And Jos is here. Hi Jos. He's a very old friend. He's old and a very old friend. And I think he's more interested in C64s, but this is probably also interesting, right? Let me quickly check if I can put the chat on my iPad or something like that. But I don't know how. One moment. Ian is also here. Hi Ian. Glad that you can make it. Ian is the reason why we're here today. He designed this beautiful board called the Pico GUS, which is a very cheap clone, cheap in the sense of very inexpensive. It's not cheap in any other respect. A clone of the Gravis Ultrasound sound card from the 1990s, which has become pretty rare and pretty expensive. And this clone here utilizes the ubiquitous Raspberry Pi Pico, which will be going here in its regular breakout board form, which we have actually here. It will go something like this. And this will emulate the Gravis Ultrasound chip. Hi Fred. Fred is one of my longtime patrons. Welcome. On the back side, we can see the little piggy, because originally this thing was called the Pico GUS, because it was using the original Raspberry Pi, Pi Zero or something, whatever. Until Ian figured out how to do this with the Pi Pico, actually, the microcontroller, which is super cool. And I'm in here as well, in the mentions, because I think I gave one or two ideas without being able to design something like this at all. And yeah, there's many more very, very talented people on here. A very talented DJ Hoffman, which is a great musician and coder. Freddy, who also is a great coder, and I think he's also currently designing an ISA board, ISA board based on the Pi Pico for memory expansions. Furan is of course also a highly talented person. Tube Time is Eric Schlepfer from the US, extremely talented, crazy talented person. Same as Fuan. So yeah, I'm very happy that my name is in between those, and I'm very glad that Ian could make it today. So let's see if we can assemble this today. Will be a lot of fun. Today's drink is the Rothaus Tannenzäpfle. It's a German beer from the south, very, very southern part of Germany. Very small drinks today, because this is all SMD basically, and I have to sort through the bags here that Ian sent to me last year actually, but it's only now that I am getting around to actually assembling this. So turning on the soldering iron. We do have hot air if needed for the small parts. Yeah. I'm not sure what things we should do first. Probably all the small parts, and once they are in place we can put down the Pico. Marcus is also joined. Hello. More people from the DOS Reloaded forums. Oh, we even have two big capacitors. This one here is actually the digital to analog converter. For the actual sound output, it will go something like here. Yeah, so I would say I'm gonna start. If there are any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat. Perhaps we are lucky enough and we can make this thing work in roughly 2 hours time. That's my usual time frame that I set for these streams. And I will grab the original Gravis Ultrasound that is currently in the 486 here and replace it with this one, and we can try to make it work. Maybe it won't be done by then, but I mean, it's not so many things here. So yeah, let's go. What do we have here? Here's a 10 ohm resistor. It's R3. This is so much overkill, Ian. Thanks for labeling everything this nicely. R3. Okay, R3 is R3 is over here. Okay, so let's try that. I'm gonna first tin one of the pads, and the second one I'm gonna do after I put down this little thingy. Oh, this is gonna be so much fun. At some point, I want to buy a microscope that is actually usable. I do have this super cheap one that I showed, I think, in one of the last streams. But it's so friggin' bad, it's not good for real-time soldering, I think. So here we go. Don't lose it, because then we will have a hard time doing anything else today. So let's move it like this. I should probably also pick up my flux syringe. That will be easier then. Oh, this looks good. Yeah, it's in place. That's the nice thing about SMD components. They are, you don't have to cut anything off, and they are actually not that hard to solder. So here are two 10k ohm resistors. They are R1 and R2. R1 and R2 live, where do they live? Okay, here's R1 over here and R2 over there. Okay, we can do that. Pre-tin one of the pads. The whole cost for this was something around 20 euros, I think. If you get higher grade PCB with gold plating, etc., it will be more expensive. And you can also spend more on the components, I guess. But I think they are pretty decent ones. I mean, the chips, the 74 series chips, you probably only get them from Texas Instruments, so there's no point in picking something else. I think the DAC will perhaps be more expensive depending on where you buy it. I got like a whole bunch for a couple of euros. I appreciate how SMD can be faster than through a hole to assemble. Yes, Ian, that's correct. Stefan says, nice, the PCB has the ISA pinout also for a pin header. Yes, here. I think Ian used that mainly for debugging, right? To attach logic probes and stuff like that. There's also a Discord for everyone who develops for the Pico GUS and the related projects. I can probably at some point put a link to that into the video description, but right now I think I can't paste a link, and I think Ian can't either, because I think YouTube is very picky about that due to spam, etc. Okay, looks okay. Next one. I think the smaller ICs here, those will be fun. The bigger footprints here I have no problems with. But this is still all a size that doesn't worry me too much. But I'm gonna fetch some flux. Ian says, yes, I added the header for debugging. If I had mirrored, it could have been a PC104 header. Ah, okay. PC104 I only know by name. I think it's for embedded PCs or something like that. Haven't ever used it. Oh. Something's running away. Oh, that's better. Okay. The solar blob wasn't looking very nice, so I added some flux, and now I think this looks relatively decent. There's a little bit too much solder, but who cares? It's not as if anyone was watching. There's a Schottky diode here. Stefan says you can also stack cards on top of each other if you run out of slots on the motherboard. It was not uncommon back in the day, yeah. Yeah, there are like ISA bus extenders. That's for sure. This is diode 1, D1. And Ian says, I got the idea for the header from the original GUS Classic, which had it to stick a CD-ROM interface or 16-bit recording daughter card. Yeah, I remember. I think a couple of cards had that back in the day. Very cheap method of allowing for more expansion. So D1. D1 is over here. Okay. I'm not turning on the fan because then you can't hear what I'm saying anymore. But I will probably open up the window in a minute because of the flux fumes. Does the diode have a direction? I can't see any markings. Ian to the rescue? I would say it doesn't. I'm putting it here and opening the window and waiting for an answer. Yes, the diode has a direction. Okay. How do I figure out which way it has to go? Because actually I can't see which way it faces. It is very faint, yeah. And what's the marking on your board? Which way does it have to face? That would be interesting. That would be interesting. Okay, I think I need the microscope. Where did I put it? As usual. Where did I put the microscope? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Somewhere here in all the crap. No, this is some protective goggles. Oh, bummer. Okay, then we have to do it differently. The closed end of the footprint silk screen marks the cathode end of the diode. The closed one. Okay. So that's basically where the stripe should be. Let's see if we can make anything out here. Ah yes, there are like a bunch of little stripes. So I will put that towards the closed end of the footprint. So that's like so. Okay. Starlight says if you're using OBS, there's really a good noise reduction filter that can be enabled, allowing you to run a fan and talk at the same time. Okay, thank you, Starlight. We'll Google that for the next stream. For this stream, it's probably too late. The build guide wiki. Okay, I should probably open that. Let's put this in place. I can move it if I did the wrong thing. I will have to clean this. Okay, the build guide wiki. That will be super helpful. Pico GUS guide. I guess that's on GitHub or something. Do we have a wiki here? Yes, we have. Building your Pico GUS. Okay, here it is. Okay, it's, yeah, okay, the 3 stripes to the, well, the couple of stripes to the top. Hey, great, that's good. So, that's that. Bunch of garbage here. Now we have 2 1K ohm ferrite beads, L1 and L2. Okay, they are over there. Good. Pre-tin everything. Yeah, thanks for everyone for joining. And Stefan says it's around -1 degrees here. Let's look at the watch. 0 degrees here currently. But yeah, it's I've got the what do you call this? Shutters down more or less, just a little bit open so that a bit of fresh air can come inside, and the iMac is fanning away, and the soldering iron is running, so I'm not really cold. So the ferrite beads, they are tiny, and my pincers are sticky from the flux. That's awesome. Let's turn it around. Second one. No, it's looking good. All right. That is done. We already have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 components on. That's good. Next up, there's gonna be a bunch of capacitors, but now we have one capacitor, C10. It's a single one. Here it is. C10 is over here. So, does everyone know what the Gravis Ultrasound is and what it can do? Back in like 1995, I was really envious of people who owned one. I got my first Gravis Ultrasound only around the year 2000, I think, because by then they weren't very popular anymore. And I got it for really cheap, but sold it off a couple of years later when my PC didn't have an ISA slot anymore. And I'm regretting that a little bit, but I got a relatively cheap Gravis Ultrasound Ace, which is basically only the Gravis Ultrasound part without any Sound Blaster emulation and things like that, which is actually good because you can combine it with a real Sound Blaster card. So I've got one now, and I've also got the Russian clone of the Argus clone card, so a clone of a clone, and yeah, but that's currently not in use because that's a Gravis Ultrasound plug and play, whereas the Ace is a regular Gravis Ultrasound. Jos says, I had a Sound Blaster AWE32 those years. Yeah, which is also a fabulous card, and I think there's also a replica of that, or of the AWE64, I'm not quite sure. Ian says, I got mine for Christmas 1994, I still have it. That's excellent. You were a lucky kid. Back in the day, I bought my first sound card in 1994, and it was due to budget constraints, because I basically saved up all my money and worked a little bit for that as well. I got a MediaVision Jazz 16 based sound card, which was the cheapest one that could also do 16 bits. It was fine, had a real OPL3 chip, and I also bought my first CD-ROM at the time, double speed Mitsumi, which I still have. Not exactly that one, because I sold it off later, but like 1 or 2 years ago, I got back a copy of one of those double speed, and I loved the style of this. Came not with an IDE interface, but proprietary interface. I think this still works, but I haven't tested it in the last 2 years. So that's for another time. Hi Matze, he's back. Oh well, the card who makes all our cards soon obsolete. Yes. Software-defined hardware. Yeah, that's true. It's a little bit like software-defined radio. I always had cheap creative ones back then, so what is the advantage? The Jazz 16 was just cheap. Cheaper than creative. Also it was relatively noisy. But yeah, so were the days. And the Gravis Ultrasound actually is more akin to a wavetable synthesizer, or a bit also to the Amiga Paula chip, because it does a lot of channels in hardware. Basically you can upload samples to it, and it will use those as instruments, and will take all the processing away from the CPU and do it on the sound card basically. So you could do very realistic music basically with high quality samples on the sound card for relatively little money. But it came, I think, a little bit too late when regular MIDI wavetable cards became available, and Sound Blaster 16 had. Oh, should have looked which which capacitors these are. Okay, here. So it's C3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, everything from C3 to C9. So that's the advantage basically. Yours says the CD-ROM has also an analog output controllable by the PC. Yeah, basically you could hook it up to wherever, but the controller card actually has RCA jacks, line out, which was nice because I didn't own a CD player back then, and basically this CD-ROM was my CD player. So yeah, that was nice. So C9, C3, C5, C4, C6, C8, I think that's it. Stefan says a little bit like as a built-in Roland MPU. Yeah, but more flexible. Like the regular MIDI cards couldn't change their samples. They had a fixed ROM where you couldn't change anything, and whatever it sounded like, that was it. But with the Amiga and with the Gravis Ultrasound, you could, or you had usually to upload your own samples for instruments, and you could do whatever sounds you wished. So basically it was very easy to write module players that played Amiga music for the Gravis Ultrasound because it was basically the same technology. Yeah, sort of like that. So now we put in all the little tiny capacitors. This one wants to tombstone. I won't be able to talk much during this, but it will be over very soon because it's actually not that hard. Luckily, I had a little bit practice over the last years regarding SMD components, or else I would have been very anxious to do this here. The only thing where I think, yeah, the little ICs here, that will be a bit more tricky than what I'm used to. So where does the last one go? Did I forget one? Ah, C7. I missed C7 over here. Okay, we will put flux on here because one thing I can show you now is there's a little spike here, and that's usually because there's not enough flux on here. So I'm gonna put a little bit here and there and over here and over here. We will bathe this in alcohol later. Same as I'm doing now with myself. So that's that. Now we can put some solder here and reflow that bit. Sadly, this moved, so I'm gonna heat it up from both sides. Okay, that's better. Now this is actually pretty fun to solder. I hope that the little ICs go well, but I might just use hot air on them, I'm not sure. It might be perhaps the best idea. So I think I've got all the little ones here. This one is a little bit askew, so I'm gonna retouch it, and there, it's snapped in place. It's always like magic. Veterana says, or just order it soldered. Yes. Ian says, JLC PCB can assemble for so cheap. Finding all parts and order them is almost the same amount of time than making production files. Yeah, especially if you got that as a project, Ian could share that or sell that, and yeah, basically no one has to do that anymore. But this is, from what I understand, this is not even the final revision, so this is like pre-production run. Ian is still working on it. So I guess in the future we could order this just from JLC and be done in a minute. Pretty neat. Okay, so next up, there's one more resistor, R4, which lives over here. There we go. So there we are. We will also have to flash the firmware. Ian, is it correct that we can do this via on my Mac, or do I have to download your flash utility for MS-DOS? I haven't downloaded anything yet, I have to say. I'm basically completely unprepared. A little bit of flux. And you stay here. Mac is fine, says Ian. Okay, because I have worked with the Pi Pico before, but just played around and coded some LED lights. Nothing fancy. So I do know that I can just plug it into the Mac and upload some stuff there. So we'll see. We'll see. And Matze said that this card will make all the other cards obsolete, which I would say is not really the case. And there's still a market for both original vintage sound cards for PCs, as well as replicas, the way that, for example, Leo Dallas does with his office cards and stuff like that, which use all original hardware but on new designs, because it's like also a collector's thing and being period correct with original vintage hardware. But this is nice because it enables a lot more people to experience the Gravis Ultrasound in older hardware. Like you can use a 486 or something and not have to use complete software emulation. So this is a really nice option. Ian says you hold down the boot select button on the Pi Pico while plugging into USB and the Pico appears as a drive. Drag the UF2 files over and you're done. Okay, cool. Even though I made this, I always prefer real original hardware if I can afford it, especially with anything that generates music. Yes, of course. But it's like sort of like gatekeeping if you say only original cards count, because not everyone can get them or even afford them. And this is really affordable and that's very nice. This was also not sponsored. Ian sold me this, basically. Probably he didn't make any money from this, but still didn't get it for free. I think we have all the passive components except for the large capacitors, which I leave off for now. We can go to the other things now. There is an IC here. Okay, let's sort a bit. So these are 74 series, more, another 74, pin headers, then there's even more 74 series. Okay, and DRAM IoT. Okay, there's DRAM, and that's it. I wonder, there's like U9 and stuff like that. Ah, okay. They've got a weird footprint. Okay. Let's take this one because it's really small and tiny. It's a weird footprint. It's an IC with 5 pins, I think. Yes. Haven't seen that before. So I will pre-tin everything here. Oh. And put down some flux. So that it will work nicely. So the trick is always to use flux. It makes SMD soldering so much easier. With through-hole, it's usually, there's flux also here in the solder, but it evaporates quickly. But for through-hole, it's okay. But for these here, when you pre-tin the pads and then heat it up again, my experience is that it's not great. You need to add more of the stuff. And it really works like magic. Okay, I'm not a pick and place machine. This is really annoying to get out. Okay, now it's open. This is easy to place because it has like 2 pins on one side and 3 pins on the other side. Whoa. Ian says, I may have sent you 2 different chips for you to use the SN74B3 something something. Okay, this is U9. Once we get to U2, let's see. Okay, this is tiny. I think I might use hot air for this. I think I will. Now it's getting a bit louder. To turn on the power. Okay. I think that looks terrible. Ha! There's way too much solder on there, but I just shouldn't have used the soldering iron, period. These will actually be very simple to solder if using hot air, I think. There was just way too much solder on my solder tip. Yeah, that's much better. Okay, I swiped it away, trying to focus on that, and I think now it looks brilliant. This is very nice. And it also just snapped into place using the hot air, so I think I will use that. The stream preview shows Commodore Plus 4. Yeah, that's YouTube for you. That's crazy. But I think it actually should. Yeah, it could be that it still has the old thumbnail as a cache. That's always very annoying with YouTube. It makes these things. Yeah, I can't see it. I have it now on my iPad, but I don't see the thing here. Okay, that's that. U8, the DRAM. Now I'm gonna do the DRAM last, because I'm anxious that I will destroy it or something. This is U7. U7 is another of these very small, tiny things. Another. It's a logic gate, 2 input. Okay, it's a single logic gate. That's crazy. I didn't know they make those. 74 LVC1G00. Crazy. Didn't know they make individual logic gates. That's totally cool. And I'm gonna tin these things. Okay, this looks good. I'm gonna use the hot air this time immediately. Nihonam joined. Hello! What did you miss? You missed the first couple of components, which are in place now. And I'm gonna try to hot air this logic gate into place, which I have no idea what it does. But Ian Scott, the inventor of the Pico GUS, is here, and he could perhaps tell us what this logic gate does, what it's for. Oh, bring it down. A little bit of flux here and there. There's not too much flux. The 1G part numbers have 1 gate. They aren't much cheaper than the full-size chips, but they are smaller. Yeah, that makes sense. So I'm gonna move this over here. Take up the hot air. And blow the chip away. Oh, it's running away. Running away. Running away. Yeah, it's on. Oh, that's like magic. I love it. I love it. I love it. Yeah, that's super cool. This is so much easier than any other means of soldering. Will you teach your woman how to solder hot air? So, Soul Sister will perhaps get a lesson in that as well. She's busy tonight. She will perhaps come in later, like in 5 minutes or so. Yeah, let's see. But it might be that she won't be staying for long. But we can perhaps make another stream, because I do have practice solder kits still for SMD, and they are a lot of fun, and you can do them with hot air, obviously. So now we have U5, which is this one here, and it's a hex Schmidt inverter. This is U5. So, laying down some solder here on the pads. Just swiping, and that's it. Thank you, Matze. Very kind. So here we go. Ian, there are no markings for the ICs from what I can tell. Can I assume that the dot, so pin 1, goes to the top? Or do you have any other way of marking this? Gonna carefully lay this down and wait for an answer. I could also look at the wiki, but if we have Ian here, we can just ask him directly while I put this roughly into place. Let's look at the build wiki. The footprints are used to have relatively subtle indication for where pin 1 is. Look for the longer line. And longer. Okay, basically all the chips are pin 1 at the top. This one here has it on the top right, so it's rotated 90 degrees clockwise. Okay, that's fine. We can deal with that. Hot air. Oh, this will be so sticky from the flux residue. Ah, this smells so good. Okay, I think it's done. Yeah, that's on. And I must say, hot air works just beautifully. Ian says, those are the footprints from keycard and they are not very good for showing pin 1. Yeah, so be it. We know what to do. This is U3 and U4. Those are those two. They are 74 CB3T3257 multiplexers and demultiplexers, 4-bit. So together they make 8-bit multiplexers and demultiplexers, I guess. Maybe I'm wrong, but I guess it's for multiplexing and demultiplexing 8 bits, perhaps 1 byte, so to speak. So that's some solder on here. I think that was too much, and my grip is sliding away. Now there's a bit too much on here, but I will add a little bit of flux and remove. That's right, they multiplex the 8-bit data bus and 8 bits of the address bus. The address bus being very interesting on the PC because it's not purely like memory map, but there's a memory space of its own basically, and special instructions to talk to peripherals, the in and out opcodes, which is different from, I think, other machines of the era. Like, I'm not sure how the 68000 does it, but the Intel 8086 platform has these instructions, and they have a special signal on the bus to show that they're not talking to a specific memory location, but to an I/O port. That's what they call it. And I guess that's what is being decoded here, right? Hopefully. Homemade Tech has joined and says, hello! Hello, Homemade Tech. We are in the middle of assembling the Pico GUS, the tiny Gravis Ultrasound replacement, designed by the great Ian Scott, who is also in the channel and helping us do this correctly, basically. So, damn it, I forgot where they go here. That was U3 and U4. That means the upper two chips. Stefan says, I got the idea of software-defined hardware, but how is the analog signal generated? The analog signal is generated by this digital to analog converter. So basically, the Pi Pico and the Gravis Ultrasound generate a digital signal by mixing digital signals and adding them, mixing them. And in the end, there's a plain old DAC that converts it to analog levels. And that's that. And we use a pre-made one here. I ordered it from China. Not sure which one this is, but it's using the Pi Pico bus. What is it? I see S clock and something like that. It's one of the serial buses, I2S or I2 whatever. I have no idea. Yeah, finally got it open. Throwing all the crap down on the floor. I'm gonna put both on here at the same time because I think they will not float away. And I will put a bit more flux on here just to make sure. That it will snap into place. Hallo!
Hello! Oh.
Guten Tag. Lecker, ne?
Hello! What's happening? It smells awful in here. like alcohol and stuff. No, not like beer, but like.
That's the flux.
Ah, really?
A lot of people are here.
Really? Hi, everyone.
Matze from DOS Reloaded, Ian Scott, of course,
Yay.
Stefan from DOS Reloaded,
Hello.
my old friend Jos, who was a neighbor of mine.
Oh,
He's
very
also
nice.
here. And a bunch of other people
Great.
that are
That's
usually
awesome.
here.
Let me go get a chair and something to eat.
Yes, please.
And let me also have a look at that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow,
I'm using
crazy.
hot air.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, it's running away. It's running away.
Oh no! Weren't we just talking about it the other day? Not too much hot air.
Yes.
So, tune it down.
Going to 20%. Uh-oh. There's a resistor running away. Oh, capacitor, sorry. Okay, this looks good. E-Vibes also says hello. Hello, E-Vibes. There we go. I think one of them looks decent, one of them looks like crap. That we have to change. This one up here is not correctly in place. It's like in between pads, which seem to have been a local optimum for this one. I think this is better.
Okay.
Ian and Mats and Stefan say hello, and a bunch of other people.
Hello.
Okay, this is looking good.
Wow.
These are tiny.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's the smell.
Yes, that's the smell.
It's neither you nor alcohol. There's some. Do you still need that?
Hmm?
This? Do you still need that?
No, that's on garbage.
That's garbage. Okay, that's
The garbage is on the floor.
Ah, okay, so this is not garbage.
This is not garbage, this is to do.
Oh, this is to do, okay.
Now we need U2.
Me?
Which was? There's alternate. Ian said he sent me perhaps 2.
Perhaps.
I have only the alternate, which is the B3T3245. And Ian said use the B3T3245. Yeah, that's the one we got. Lucky us, Ian, we have the right chip here,
Awesome.
it seems. Guillermo has joined. Hey Guillermo XT. He's
Hey.
also from DOS Reloaded. Gravis Ultrasound clone build? Yes, the Pico GUS. And something is deforming here. Yes, I think my heat resistant mat is not as heat resistant as I was hoping. For everyone who joined late, this is the Pico GUS, the tiny Gravis Ultrasound clone based on the Raspberry Pi Pico, made by Ian Scott, who is also in the channel. As mentioned many times before. And everything is
Okay.
in the right direction. So, this flipping chip doesn't have an orientation. Thank you.
Oh God.
There's no...
Are you sure?
I think there's a hint of a dot.
You want? Can I look? Oh God.
In the top left corner. There's a hint.
Oh God.
Really a hint
Might also be
garbage.
imagination. I don't know.
Yeah. I will just put it the same orientation as the others from the silk screen, which would make sense, but the dot is really hardly visible. Yeah, I think I do have a cutting mat below that to keep the heat away from the wooden table I'm using. And I think that is starting to deform, which is fine, it's just a cutting mat. It's a lot of fun. Okay.
Why this stuff? Stupid question.
Because I can watch the chat on there, but I also have the chat on there.
Okay. Meh. Okay.
Thought it was a good idea, but I think I don't need it. But if one of them hangs, I can check with the other. I don't know. It's redundant. Okay. Oh. Chip is running away. Chip is running away. Chip is
Can you lower the amount of air that comes out of there?
I have already reduced it to 20%, which should be fine. It's just me
But
being...
could you, in theory, lower it even further?
Yes, of course. But I think that's... pretty okay now.
Okay.
I think that's fine.
So for everyone who is wondering, I'm just here for emotional support and I'm eating. That's
Yeah,
what
but
I'm doing.
Matze already said I should we should make a hot air soldering stream where you learn hot air soldering with...
Yeah!
I have a couple of the SMD kits still. You can do
Yes,
that.
let's do that next time. Absolutely, great idea. I will probably swear a lot, but yeah.
U6. And then there's the DRAM. That will go on last. So this is U6.
Did you recap already what I missed?
Recap.
Yeah.
You missed only the soldering of the components. It's actually pretty easy, I think. By now I do like SMD soldering quite a lot.
Wow.
At least on this level. This is easy SMD soldering.
Is it?
There's harder stuff
But
like
that's-
ball grid arrays and crap like that.
When did
But
I
this is-
do that? There was this one thing.
You did one, yes? Yes, I
What
remember.
was that? Was that the
Christmas tree? No.
roulette? Was that the
The roulette? Yeah, the roulette, yeah.
Okay.
The roulette was...
So is that easier or harder?
Jos asked, is that Soylent Green?
Might have also been the edible paper that I was eating.
Ah, the edible paper, okay.
Mhm.
Could also be, yeah. No, edible paper, indeed.
Yeah. I see it. It freaks people out every time I eat that. The last time someone was thinking I was eating the data sheet that you printed out.
Oh, yes. I remember.
Yeah, that was great.
Okay, this is the last but one
Ah, okay.
I see. And then we have a few larger components like the Pi Pico and the DAC. But those, yeah, should be relatively
So that's all
easy.
this stuff? Why is this empty?
You can throw it on the floor, where to the other trash.
What is this? The Fluxpass. You
Yeah.
need this?
Yes.
Okay, good.
This
I'm just
stays
cleaning
here.
up a bit.
Let's do that later.
Nah, because... Nah.
Okay, says Jos. Okay. I'm not sure if
This
the
is also empty.
Americans know that. Ian, do you have something like edible paper? Like it's slightly sweetened and colored and has some, I'm not sure, like strawberry flavor or something else. Guillermo XT, how is the GUS scene? FM or more like wavetable synth? Definitely wavetable synth. No FM on there at all. However, the Pico GUS can emulate the Adlib because it is using the Pi Pico and Ian ported protein cubes. Yes.
Protein cubes?
Yeah, that's instead of soil and green.
I've never heard of edible paper like that. Let me just show you. You keep talking.
Yeah.
I'll go get a sheet.
So you can basically emulate lots of different sound cards using the Pi Pico, only limited by the processing power of this microcontroller. The GUS is purely sample-based wavetable synth, but you can upload your own samples. That's the big idea. But it also, the Pico GUS also emulates Adlib if you want to.
It goes nicely with my scarf. I didn't even see that before. So anyways, this is what it looks like. So pretty much like a sheet of paper, but it's made of the same stuff that
Starch. It's starch, basically.
It might be, but I wanted to say the stuff you eat in church. What's that called?
Yeah, in the Catholic Church.
In the Catholic Church, the piece of that resembles Jesus Christ's body. That's what you eat. That's basically edible paper. Really was a thing in Germany. Yes, it really was, and it's back, or it was never gone. I don't know. So, anyways, that's what it's made of. It tastes a bit like paper too. I mean, nowadays they actually add some flavors, but
in church they don't.
Unfortunately,
Taste
in church,
body of Christ. Sorry if I offended any Christians here.
Yeah. Yes.
Ian says, "Wow."
Okay, and that coming from an American, I mean, you guys have really, really crazy candy.
We do have a store now where you can buy American candy and chips and stuff like that for like very expensive.
Where's that?
The game store.
Oh yeah, that store.
They have like Nintendo and similar toys and lots of American food, like
and
soft drinks and chips.
Chopsticks as well.
Yeah, sweets. All that kind. But for like probably like 3 or 4 times the price that you pay in the US because we have to import it and it's customs and stuff like that. It's like exotic sweets and stuff. Okay, so the dot comes into the upper right because this is U8, the DRAM.
Okay.
It's a serial DRAM, I think, because it has only 8 legs. That's too little for any proper addressing except serial.
What is all this?
Later. That's a Pi Pico. That's a microcontroller. That's the actual heart.
Can I have a look at it?
Yes. You have that thing with the LEDs. In the das Leuchten im Rahmen. Das ist auch so ein Pi Pico.
Ja.
Gleiches Ding.
Where is that, by the way?
I don't know.
Okay. So actually that was one of the first gifts you gave me, right?
Yes.
The soldier that gave it to me and it made light. That was very nice. You eat all the stuff? Yes, I eat all the stuff. That's my responsibility during the live stream. I get a lot of food and I eat it all. And next time I will be a beautiful butterfly.
Okay, next up, the Pi Pico, I would say, if no one complains.
Ian Scott says, I used to work by a candy store. It was dangerous. Oh yeah, I believe that.
Baking wafer.
You got these sour candies there that burn my tongue.
Matze says it's basically a baking wafer with flavor, color, sugar inside, yeah.
Yeah.
And Matze has to know because I think he is a baker by trade, isn't that?
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so.
Awesome.
And he designs hardware as a hobby.
Cool. And Ian says, I got these sour candies there that burn my tongue. Yeah, we had similar, and we still have similar candy in Germany.
So the Pi Pico basically has these castellated holes, they call it.
Oh.
Because they look like little... I always say they look like little castles, but I'm not sure if castellated means that. Not sure if you can see that.
What looks like little castles?
They look a little bit like a postage stamp because they have these cutouts. And we will fill in a little bit of solder there. $20 for Gravis Ultrasound music doesn't seem bad. I think 20 euros is the minimal amount. I think Super Illo paid more for his version because he also had like gold-plated stuff, etc. But let's say sub 50 euros for sure. Whereas the Gravis Ultrasound currently costs like 200 or upwards of that euros. If you manage to find one, that is. So I'm just soldering down the Pico now. I hope I never have to remove this again, because this will be a pain to desolder. I think if I use hot air, just all the components on the board itself will come down. I might use a little bit of hot air to reflow in a minute. Anything in the chat? No, not yet. Oh. It is almost 9:30, but we're very quick here, making progress. We might be able to test this out.
Wow.
Guillermo says, can it work with GS Play like the MT32 and SC55? I'm not sure you would want that. I'm not sure you would want that because the Gravis Ultrasound is not a good MIDI device. There are better cards for that.
Okay.
But it's very good for playing mod files or demos in certain games. Those Days says, my soldering skills are pretty subpar. Is a pre-made card version available? Not yet. But I think Ian will perhaps, he has to say if that's true or not, redesign the card to use the RP2040 directly. That is the chip on here on the Pi Pico. And then you can basically order pre-assembled ones from JLC, because then you have all surface mount components and they can make it in the factory, basically. Ian says it can emulate an MP401, which is the Roland MIDI interface, and has MIDI output connector, which is nice. Yeah, you can basically just hook up a different synth that is better suited for playing MIDI files, which is nice.
Okay, what did I miss?
Not much.
Is there? Oh, okay.
Not that much. This is actually more work than the small parts, or more time.
Yeah, because it's bigger.
Yeah, and it takes longer for it to heat up.
Ian says you can play MIDI in GUS mode using DOSMID, but Route 42 is right. It's not as good sounding as SC55 or MT32 for MIDI.
Those are the Roland synthesizers, which we both have.
I know.
You can't see them, but I have the SC55 and the MT32 right here on the desk. Slightly out of shot for you.
Too bad. So was that the last part you had to solder on?
No, there's a few more things like the DAC. Ian, how did you think I would be attaching this beauty here? I guess with pin headers?
Ooh.
Or maybe not? Just like this? Or do I have to put it on pin headers? Like these ones here. I'm pretty sure I can solder on this double row, because this is like the jumper block.
Them, he said.
Yeah, so with the pin headers, okay, good.
Mm-hmm.
Let's first solder in the jumper block for the jumpers for the IRQ and DMA lines on these kinds of old hardware. They were not plug and play. You had to manually set jumpers. It was hot.
Do you need some help?
No, it's okay.
Okay.
Basically, these cards used resources. One of the resources was an IRQ line, interrupt request line, and one was a DMA line or DMA channel where it could transfer from and to memory, main memory, and you had to select one of the free IRQ lines, and you would have to jumper all the cards so that there were no two cards which used the same IRQ or DMA line. Otherwise, there would be conflicts and your machine would crash. Today, everything you have in your PCs is plug and play because they auto-configure, they talk to each other, and they determine who can use which IRQ line, etc., etc. But back in the day, that was not the case. You had to do it yourself, which usually wasn't too hard because you would put in one or two extra cards, and the manuals usually said which IRQ lines should be free. If you had more complicated setups, yeah, then it could become difficult.
Super Illo just wrote, what did I miss? How far in are we?
We are pretty far in. You can have a look. Super Illo. He already built his card. Super Illo is the author of Do.js, a DOS JavaScript interpreter, which is very fancy. Also a Mastodon client for MS-DOS. And he also wrote a small GUI for configuring the Pico GUS in Do.js in JavaScript. So yeah, and this is what you missed. I have most of the things in place. There's a few more components here, and then we can try and flash the Pico GUS and see if it works. Again? What do you want to know?
I just want to look at it because it's easier to look at it like this, as if I look on the screen.
That's true. I probably will put some hot air on here and some flux to reflow this, and I'm gonna do this now before all the plastic pieces are in place. Because I think some of this stuff doesn't look so nice. And we will need lots of isopropyl alcohol to clean up this mess.
You want me to...
Not yet, not yet. We will need like a...
Drink a sip?
Yeah, no, please don't.
No,
I think
won't.
That's not healthy.
I know.
Drink a beer.
Nah. I drink water.
Nice work. Thank you, Super Illo. Let's hope none of the smaller components flow away. Flow away.
Tune it down then.
Oh, I will have to clean the mat as well.
Yeah.
There's a lot of sticky flux residue now. Okay, this looks a bit nicer. Guillermo says, so, if it could be better for mod files, like you said, is there an audio technical difference to LPT sound modules? I'm not sure. We will have to listen. The most important thing is it does everything in hardware, the mixing and stuff. It alleviates the CPU, especially if you use all the 32 channels that it can support. For 4-channel mod files, there's probably not much advantage. So where do we jumper this? IRQ, I don't know. 7? 5? 5 is already my Sound Blaster. Let's put it to 7 for now, because I'm not gonna use the parallel port. And DMA will be put to 3 and 3 because the Sound Blaster is on 1. So we're gonna use 3 and 3. Otherwise we will have to take out the Sound Blaster. So, I think this is for the deck.
Oh my god, this looks like a little city. This is cute.
Yeah. Superlo has his on IRQ5 and DMA1. Yeah, but that's where the snarkbugger already resides. I can take out the snarkbugger for the time being, but I probably won't. Alright. Is this straight? Yeah, this is straight. So much less main CPU usage sounds perfect for very old systems. Exactly. And Freddy, who is also here on the silk screen, with his Modmaster XT, showed that you can play mod files on an XT with 4.77 MHz using a Gravis Ultrasound, because yeah, it just works. Even mod files with more than 4 channels, because it just only has to upload the samples and then feed nodes to the Gravis Ultrasound. In simple terms, I mean the coding is a bit more difficult than just sending nodes, but it's much yeah, I know, everything is sticky.
Ugh.
Everything is sticky. Everything is sticky. La la la. Oh, I don't want to get a copyright
Yeah, I
strike.
just wanted to say, don't continue.
For singing something from the Lego movie.
Are you even allowed to say Lego movie?
I'm not sure. Stefan says, sounds like I need one for my XT. Yeah, everybody needs the Gravis Ultrasound, and thanks to Ian Scott, everybody can. Vote Ian Scott in the next election.
Yay!
He gives a Gravis Ultrasound
You can't
to
see
everybody.
my left arm in the video.
And seemingly he's from Colorado. There's a Colorado flag here on the back silk screen. I've never been to Colorado.
No, me neither. Want me to list the states I've been to?
Yeah, sure.
I've been to Connecticut. I've been to Illinois. I've been to New Jersey, but only to go to a parking area because I took the wrong turn.
Yeah.
But still.
I should pay you to make advertisements for me. Yes.
Yeah, I was
Please.
thinking the same thing.
Everybody,
It would be great for
the
advertising.
super chat is enabled. You can all give money.
Touch the screen. You heal.
Guillermo says, oof, I have to hurry finding a house to get more space also for the ISO CRT. Okay.
If you find one, let us know. We might want to move in.
This doesn't fit.
What?
That's probably not the best idea that I put these things in first without checking if it fits.
I have no money. I just bought 3 GUS. Oh, what a pity.
Wow, 3 original. You're crazy, Super Elu. Well, everybody has their own hobbies. Oh, it's too hot, it's too hot, it's too hot.
Do you want me to help you? Hello?
Trying to remelt the solder because it's slightly at an angle and I can't get the deck in. It was not very clever. Oh no, I was joking. 3 original would be something like 600 monies. At least.
600 money.
If you can get them for 200. Ow, ow. This is hot. Ah, yeah.
But it's moving now.
Yeah. I think that's enough to get this into place, I hope. Ah, hot. In this episode, I burn myself again.
Lovely. In this episode, I'm done eating now.
Okay. I might have to clean my hands in between. Ah, hot.
60 square meters is not enough for 3 now. Yeah, that's true.
Oh, yeah, that's... For 3 Gravis Ultrasound or for 3 people?
I think both.
Okay, here we go.
Yay. Great.
I think I can just have it like in a friction fit here without soldering. This is so disgusting.
Do you want me to get a tissue with something?
Actually, this will only go off with alcohol, with the isopropyl. So when I clean this card, I will clean my fingers as well.
Okay.
It might go off with soap, but who cares?
I mean, at least you didn't glue yourself to the mat.
Yeah.
Or the card. Or anything.
Not yet.
Not yet. Stay tuned for Route 42's gluing himself to the mat.
So we are almost done. Soon we can flash the card. I will need to find a... You can, if you want to, you can try and find, a micro USB cable, the one that you use for charging or stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think
Thanks for explaining this to me.
No, because there are different micro USB standards, but actually we need the one for this.
Yeah, I might have
Blue
one.
42, yes, exactly.
Oh, I love that. It's also when he starts ranting, I call him Rant 42.
Yeah, we thought about creating a channel Rant 42 where I complain about Apple and stuff. Guillermo says, the little boy cries again. Time for the next bottle of milk. Ah ha ha. Very funny. Ah, no, you don't mean me, you mean your kid. Okay.
What?
Guillermo says, the little boy cries again. Time for the next bottle of milk. And I thought he meant me. But he's talking about his kid.
You want some milk? So, you want this? Or you want this?
This one.
See?
This might be not... with the it might not have all the data cables, but we will try it. We have a longer one, like a really long one, but it doesn't matter.
I had to solder my cards without help.
Unfair.
Well, I'm not helping.
She's not helping.
I'm not helping. Just to be clear on that.
Ian says, I recommend putting a pin header on some pins on the ISA breakout to help with flashing. Look at the bottom of the build guide for which pins.
Look at the bottom.
Yeah, but we don't need it right now, right? We just needed flashing. Okay. I could flash both cards without bridging the reset pin. What?
What?
Okay, let's see. I will look at that in a minute because we are almost done here.
No.
You're lucky. Okay. Okay, I will look at the build guide in a second.
Is it this one? It's really a long one.
Yes, thank you.
There you go.
Amazon Basics micro USB cable.
Okay, I think I'm gonna have to leave now.
You will retire.
I will retire. Yeah, because I'm...
Check the jumpers on the back of the DAC before soldering it in, because I didn't.
Okay.
No, too late.
I'm sorry for that.
We might have to break out the desoldering gun.
Well, anyways, I wish you luck with that. If you need me, I'll be in the next room.
Oh, I forgot to mention the DAC jumpers. Yeah.
See
See you later.
See you later. Have fun, guys. Enjoy.
I'm turning on the desoldering gun.
Don't get frustrated.
JJ says, hello JJ. Usually they are jumpered correctly.
Hello and bye.
Yeah, but we don't know. I'm gonna say they are soldered correctly. And if we don't hear anything, I will desolder this thing. Again. Okay, last thing we need are the capacitors. And then we can do a test run, basically. In the machine. Flop. Everybody's saying bye. If I might suggest moving the check instructions and the build instructions up some lines. Tube times DAC was not jumpered correctly. His is the only one I've heard of that was not. Okay, good. Tube time was unlucky, but he's a clever guy. He can manage. Oh boy, which machine are we using? I only have one PC at the ready, which is the 486. 486 DX33 with ISA board, pure ISA and micro research BIOS. Very nice board. All the other main boards are either broken or just lying around. I used the 286 for the CGA card. JJ says same here, I've used 5 of them, so far all were jumpered correctly. So I'm assuming it will be correct. I do have more of these stacks, so we could check with one of the others. But I'm feeling lucky today. So there we go. That's, I think, the last components. I'm gonna quickly, yeah, we have to clean this thing. We have to clean this mess. Because the flux also got on the edge connector. So, do I need anything on the bottom? While we ponder that, I'm gonna turn off the hot air. And I'm gonna fetch something where we can put this to clean. So here we are. You need a second working machine. 286 sounds good. Yeah, that would be something. I do have one special machine in the basement that I will reactivate at some point, but I'm not telling which one. It is pretty. Yeah, it has some. I think it has some fan community here in Germany, especially. I think it was never sold outside of Germany, but it has been in my possession for like 2 years and I haven't found the time yet to do anything with it. Although it is, I have to admit, it is another 486, so... Now we're gonna clean off everything here very nicely. And then we're gonna test this sucker. Now add some foam bath to it. Well, I'm not sure if the foam bath works very well with the alcohol in here or if it just does nothing. I think that works only with water. Oh, my fingers are getting white from the flux residue, which gets half dissolved. It's like huge blobs of flux in here. Which doesn't hurt, but I just want to have it at least marginally clean, especially the edge connector, because it's not even gold, so it will probably wear off pretty quickly. I probably will still use mainly the GUS Ace, just because, but I will be able to use this especially also for other emulations, like CMS and Tandy, etc. I don't have a Tandy card right now in the machine, although I do have Matz's Tandy card in my possession. But currently not in here. I do have the Snarkbarker, which is also CMS compatible. So I'm gonna put this down for a second. Hopefully not step in there. I'm gonna put this here on a paper towel. Okay, it's still pretty nasty, but I'm gonna clean off the edge connector and then let it dry for a few minutes while I open up the PC. And we need to check if we... So, who can tell me if I need the jumpers on the pin headers down here? Or... Super Elu, you said you didn't need that. Shall I be saying that I'm very lucky today? I'm not sure. This over there. Move away some crap. Take a sip of beer. You can try without it. I will. Opening up the PC, you can't see that, but you will see some parts arriving. And there will be a Gravis Ultrasound in a second. A real Gravis Ultrasound. And here it is. This is my Gravis Ultrasound. An original one, a Gravis Ultrasound Ace. Using the GF1 chip, which does all the magic, plus the GF1 D1 support chip. I'm not sure what it does, probably bus interface and stuff, but I think this is basically the hardware mixer chip. And then you have the RAM chips where all the samples go, and that's more or less it. Looks nice, doesn't it? So this should be this is still super dirty. I will clean it later properly, but for now this should be okay. What we're doing now is trying to flash this sucker. By plugging it in and holding the switch down. So, let's see. I don't see anything. Oh, there was something on the screen right now. Let's try again. I'm gonna hold this down. I'm gonna wait. Should there be an LED or something? Ah, yes. Okay, it shows up. And it went away. Crap. It was there for a second. I'm gonna do the following. I can't see what you're saying at the moment. I will try to capture the display like this. Let's go here. There's nothing on here. Do all the private stuff away, which is probably not the best idea anyway. If it goes away, you need the jumper. Just holding the board can cause the reset line to be low enough to allow flashing. Ah, okay. Okay, so we probably need to do that. So if I plug it in and wait a second, we will get, I think, perhaps. Oh, no, we don't get it anymore. Too bad. Okay, so we need the jumper, says Mr. Ian. All right. So what do we do here? Let's go to the Pico GUS wiki again and the build thingy. So which jumper do we need? Are those two? Okay. So also I didn't populate that. Do I have a jumper somewhere here? Let me see. So we can do it properly. Or do I need to fudge this? So those are the two things that I should bridge. I'm just gonna use a little bit of wire or a bit of a lead of this component here, a resistor. Gonna snip this off. I'm just gonna use this to bridge this. Let's go back here. And just borrow an IQD jumper from that's good. Yeah, can't have too much alcohol. Yeah, I think we're gonna make it. So I think I can put some solder on these two holes here, and then I can use this piece of wire more or less. Do I need to remove this after flashing? Or can I leave this in place? I probably should move this a bit further, otherwise I'm... Here we go. Yes, it needs to be removed after flashing. Okay, that's fine. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where does the... Ah, here. Ah, there we go. There we go. We do have access. I'm gonna twist this a bit so you can see me better, and we're gonna open this up. Okay, there's that thing. Then we're gonna go to Pico GUS here. No, not that stupid thing. I don't want to jump to the other thing. Okay, there we are. Okay, releases 061. Then let's download that. Open this up. And there are now multiple UF2 files. I think I just dropped the one for the Gravis Ultrasound here because that's it, I guess, right? And it rebooted, and that's it, I think. By the way, how can I add some members here? Only have altered and blocking. What? Guillermo, you have to explain a bit more. Not sure what that is about. What members? Okay, we also need probably the Pi GUS init exe file. So what are we gonna do? We are gonna plug in a floppy disk. Floppy disk drive, like so. Sorry for bumping into things. Too little space on this thing. So we are very close to testing this out. That takes a long time. There's the C64 game on there. We will delete that. Empty the bin. And then we're gonna copy the exe file over there. How large is that? 23 kilobytes, that's fine. You can also copy over the UF2 files to the floppy so we can change modes. Okay, let's try that. No worries. Those sweet, sweet floppy sounds, yeah. Where's my beer? So the Pi at least lives. We know that much. Now again, can I... No, I can't. I will do that in a second. Only melden and blockieren buttons are here. That's what I try to say. Nice floppy sound, by the way. So macOS still supports USB floppies. Yeah, of course it does. But USB floppies are not really good because you can only write to HD disks. Which USB floppy you use? I have one up there which doesn't properly work. And then I bought an older one from eBay, which seems to be much better. It just works. I use it to transfer D64 files mainly, but also like other stuff. I mean, I do have the grease weasel, so I can write whatever floppy disk images. It's actually here, for those who don't know what it is. It's basically a blue pill board with a little header attached to it, so you can attach... No, not 360K. You can write 360K floppies with the grease weasel. But then you have to have images, you don't get it like a drive. Yeah, but this is great. And I still have a case that Stefan sent where I want to put the grease weasel into, but haven't done so yet. And also that case is for 5¼ inch, whereas this here is just a 3.5 inch floppy drive, which is fine because I mainly need to be able to write 5¼ inch floppy disks and not the smaller ones. Okay, that's that. Let's disable the display capture before we get crazy, and let's enable the PC capture so we can see something. There should be the OSSC test screen. Bam. And we need to plug in something called the... This thing here? No, not that thing. Oh no, let's leave it like that. We need to plug in the USB mixer so we can actually hear something. And that is, I think, this device. Yes. We got sound. Enabling this. I'm gonna take the card now. Remove the reset jumper. Oh, thank you. Thank you for reminding me. Gonna take away this cable. Come on, come on. Yeah, there we go. It's gone. Okay, we have the card. I'm gonna show it here. There's the card. It is flashed. I'm gonna put it in without... There's a bracket here as well, which we can... here. There's a bracket, but we will put that later there. Starlight says, macOS removed support for reading and writing Mac formatted floppies. Maybe. USB floppies are... Yeah, most USB floppies drives are crap, right, Stefan? But I don't care. We have the grease weasel and we have other things similar to that. The grease weasel is just great. 1 second, I will remove one more card because it's a little bit wide and it might touch the Pico GUS. So I'm gonna remove it while I'm down here. It is the world famous PC MIDI card by Leo Dallas, but it has a daughter board on top, the Dream Blaster, and I don't want it to short anything out. So I'm gonna put this aside. And then I'm gonna plug the Pico GUS in. And it's in, very snugly. Gonna switch the computer on. And I heard something. Heard a noise. And we need to fetch the remote for the OSSC. Ah, still got sticky fingers. MS-DOS is coming up. Okay. So, did I put in the disk already? No, I didn't. Fire up the DOS controller. And then we're gonna go to sound and we call this Pico GUS. I'm gonna copy over all the stuff here. Someone should program a DOS tool which makes the floppies accessible over Ethernet. That should be possible, yeah. I mean, you can attach to, you can basically put the Grease Weasel plus a Raspberry Pi plus a floppy drive or two in there and then make something like that, yes. Should be possible. The problem is the Grease Weasel doesn't show you the floppy drive itself. What you could do is read in the image, mount it as whatever, and then manipulate it and write it back. Something like that. But there's no such thing like a Grease Weasel USB floppy drive at the moment. There is support like in the UAE emulator for Amigas to use it as a real floppy drive. And you probably could do something similar as well. Okay. Let me check the auto-exec bat if we have the ultrasound set. Yeah, something like this, 331111. Let's copy that. And let's see, does UAE support ADF copy as well? I have no idea. I don't know. Let's put this to 7.7 because that's what we put the jumpers to. 3.3 are the DMA and 260 is the I/O port, which I couldn't configure. I guess that is done by the PGUS in it, I think. Haven't checked. Pico GUS. PGUS in it. Let's try this. Okay. Let's try it like this. Card not responding to GUS commands on port 260. Dear Ian, is there a way to set the 240? What is the S on the end of the ultrasound line? I don't know. That was done by the Gravis Ultrasound setup. So you have to excuse me. I have no idea. Let's change the auto-exec bat and reboot. So only 240. Let's go to 240 and remove the S just to be safe. Take out the floppy disk. Otherwise we can boot and reboot. Stefan says, I thought of the drives in our old PCs. Hard disk access over Ethernet is easy, but floppy would be cool. Not on file, but on device level. Oh, that would be, yeah, file level would be easy, I guess, but device level probably hard. Sound CD Pico GUS PGUS init. I heard a pop. Did you hear the pop? Did you hear the pop, guys and gals? 260 should be okay. The card defaults to 240, but PGUS init can set it to 260. Now we have 240, which is fine. It won't work with my Ace because it's jumper to 260, but that's okay. First test, Modmaster XT. Just to be kind to dear Freddy, I will delete the Modmaster XT config file and just run it. Sound Blaster was detected, but not the Gravis Ultrasound. The Gravis Ultrasound wasn't detected. It popped, but it does not respond. Did I miss something? PGUS init. Error card not responding to GUS commands on port 240. Oh, yeah, indeed. But it popped. Yours says he heard the pop twice. Well, every time I do this, we can hear the pop. Okay. Interesting. So we have a problem. Can you run? Okay, Ian says something. Debug. Sure. Oh, 34355. This does an out command to the port 343 with value 55. In 343, it prints back 55. It can read the firmware string, but it does not respond. Pico GUS detected, firmware version, Pico GUS version 0.6.1. Yeah. Okay. So it half runs. Indeed, SuperIllu is right. At the top we can still see Pico GUS detected, firmware version, Pico GUS version 0.6.1. Address decoding is okay, I think, says Ian. Yeah, seems to be the case. I'm stumped. I wonder if there's a problem with the PS RAM. PS RAM is the one that I soldered on. The little DRAM. I can have a look at that again. If I... Was it oriented correctly? We have a look. I'm gonna shut down the machine. Machine is down. Let's have a look. Yes, I think it's correct, but I'm gonna show you. Let's see. So, as you can see, the line here goes to the left and there's the dot. So I would say this is looking pretty good. And the legs look solid as well. I don't see any... I mean, the DAC response, we hear the pop of it being initialized. There's settings on the DMA and the IRQ. That looks right to me, but the Sound Blaster out just to check. I can take out the Sound Blaster, but the snap marker, that is, let's take it out, show it off. I don't think that it works. This is the Snark Barker by Tube Time. It's a replica of the original Sound Blaster. The card not responding to GUS commands happens if it writes a byte to the RAM and does not get the same value back. Could be that the RAM is broken. I can just touch up all the legs once more. Who knows if there's something bonkers. I'm just gonna touch up all the legs manually. Maybe there was too little solder on the pads or something. So now it should be fine. I don't think the SB is conflicting if the debug test above worked. This seems to me like a problem with the PS RAM. That would be sad because I don't have anything else. The PS RAM runs at 133 MHz, much higher frequency than any other part of the board. So it could be sensitive to flux residue or alcohol still present around the pads. Okay, I will test it once more, like this. And if that doesn't work, I will clean it more extensively, okay? Yeah, it is in. It's not coming out. So, yeah. Restarting the PC. Switching back to the PC screen. Okay. If the flux residue is not good, then we will have to really clean it. CD sound CD Pico GUS. I should put this into the auto-exec bug, right? No, still not working. Oh, bummer. Could the RAM chip be completely broken, or would something else then be not correct? Can we run any of the other firmwares in? Can we run the Tandy or something else without the PS RAM? Or do you need the PS RAM because the Pico RAM is not enough? Would that be something that we could try? Yes? Yes, what yes? Yes to what? All other firmwares do not use PS RAM at all. Okay, that means no Pico's in it. Can I flash it without jumper now? Can I basically write F something something something? Like, can I write, okay, pg adlib.uf2. Card is not in firmware writing mode. That is not good either. Okay, I have a marginal Pico GUS here. Could it be something with the Pi Pico then? Do I need to retouch the solder joints perhaps of the GPIO pins or something? Is there something wrong with that, perhaps? I'm not sure if we're gonna make it today. I'm gonna give this like 15 more minutes, but then I probably need to go to bed because of work tomorrow. But let's try and make this work. Try programming firmware once more. Yeah, sure. No, doesn't work. JJ says, I actually just got the firmware writing mode on my card also. A card that's working otherwise. Good cleaning, I could try to clean it more, yes. Probably necessary. I'm gonna wait for Ian to give one more hint. The firmware string is corrupted. Oh, yes, indeed. Wow, okay. Huh. That makes me wonder if the solder joints need a touch up and more cleaning. Okay, so let's try that. I mean, it did work almost. Amazingly. Let's have a look. Let's turn off the PC. Question is, which side is the problem? I'm assuming that everything on this side is more or less going to the bus and might be of an issue. I think they look fine. I can do more cleaning, basically. Because there's still a lot of flux residue, but so far I never had a problem with flux residue. But who knows? I'm not an expert in that. I'm reflowing all the pads on this side just to make sure. But I mean, this looks like very good contact. The Pico works. I mean, it responds on the Mac. I couldn't even tell which pin would be problematic because I don't know what is what and where the string comes from and etc. Short under the Pico? I don't think so. I don't think that there's a short. Could go and beep out everything, but I won't do that today. If reflowing doesn't help, we can do one more round of cleaning. But I think otherwise I will have to call it a day, and we need to debug this in another stream or offline. Let's see. The TSSOP would be my first guess as well. I'm guessing that small TSSOP chips are the problem and the Pico is okay. They do look good to me. Don't see any bridging or anything. I mean, I can reflow all of that as well. You're talking about these three chips, right, people? JJ, I recently improved the reliability of the flashing in DOS. Maybe I need to add more delays or something. Yeah, I'm not sure about my 486, if it's too slow, too fast, whatever. I think this should be fine. Try what is the chipset of your 486 machine? Oh, that is an Opti chipset. I'm gonna reflow this chip here because, and this one here a little bit as well. Whoops, sorry, with a tiny bit of flux on the tip. The only thing I would think that it might have been come on. Someone Vogons reported that their Opti 486 chipset PC did not work well with Pico GUS. Oh well, then we could have the same problem. Which would mean today would be not a good day for the Pico GUS. Okay, so I reflowed those chips. I will not clean it right now because they are not very fast compared to the PS RAM, I think. My issue indeed came from trying to flash a 05 version to 061, it seems. Flash it to 061 via USB and no more firmware writing mode error message. Compatibility problems? We don't know yet. Perhaps. I'm gonna try this once more. And if it doesn't work, we can try to reflash it via USB or something. One more try. Switching on the PC. And try to externally flash the Adlib version, try that. Yeah, that will be the next try. Let's see if that can work. Now we have no Pico GUS detected. Bummer! Maybe now I broke it completely. I'm gonna try to reflash with the USB. It's not so easy as I was hoping it to be. I'm gonna pull out the USB here and use this one. Yeah, let's... oh, I need the jumper. I need the jumper again. I'm gonna put in proper jumper block here and borrow a jumper from somewhere. I do have something lying around, I think, somewhere. See if I can get it in. If I can get it in. Oh, otherwise I have to use the desoldering gun. Oh, not tonight. Yeah, I can't get it in. I'm gonna use the wire again. Gonna use the wire again. Okay, here we go. I think the audio level in your mixer from the DOS PC is very, very high. That could be the case, yes. I'm gonna turn this down by 6 dB, but it's also unplugged now. So the sound should be okay, I hope. So let's hold down boot select. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna put in there the... oh yeah, there's no UF2 anymore. That makes sense. I'm gonna put in the Adlib. Just to be sure. Okay, the LED is lighting, which is it's lit, which is hopefully fine. That is that. I'm gonna plug in the mixer again because I don't have enough USB ports at the ready. Okay. Oh. Where is the... no sync? Oh goodness. What's wrong now? No, it's not coming up at all. Oh, this sounds better. Let's see. The PC is not coming up anymore. Oh no, I did not remove the reset jumper, yes. Ha! Thank you, Ian. Thank you, Ian. Come on. There we go. That prevents the PC from resetting. Brilliant! So I forgot to remove the jumper. Good. Now, let's see. What can we try out? We can go to Modmaster XT and we can run it. Operator 3 found. Okay, probably doesn't work like that. What do we have that supports? This is only my small compact flash card because the other one broke. Let's go to LucasArts, that's fine. There is Monkey Island 2. Let's try it. I hear some hiss. No, there's nothing. I do hear the hiss on one channel, but nothing else. So the Pico GUS is probably working, but not outputting any sound. Perhaps the DAC is now the culprit? Maybe? Was it jumped incorrectly? Solder joints look okay. Let's see if I have one of the other DACs. Where did I put them? Where did I put them? Where did I put them? There's some flashcards. There's some other I2S stuff. I don't know where to put them. I think we need to desolder that. If there are no solder jumpers beneath, there will be no sound. Yeah. Let's desolder the DAC. Bummer. I can't say if there's something down there or not. Yeah, we have to desolder it. Can you peek under it? Yeah, I can try and show you. There is something, but I can't really say what. Is at the right channel but no audio. Yeah, exactly. We have to wait for this to heat up. Okay, so we do have at least Adlib emulation working without sound. That's so annoying. We were so close. Questions also, what is up with the PS RAM? All the solder joints look fine. Can only think of that the chip itself is broken, or the Opti is the problem. Sorry, this is not going smoothly. Doesn't matter. Is that the new PG no sound UF2? This is always the case with custom built hardware. Funny enough, the Snark Barker, which is a tremendously complex device, first time I built it, it worked right away. It was so crazy. Same with, no, not the same with the CGI Redux, because there we had broken RAMs, but yeah, couldn't do anything about that. Wasn't my soldering skills. The screen's shaking, yes. The vibrations are immense. The cow is strong in this one. Goes moo. I think I will have to use the hot air as well because there's a bit of residue here. And I don't want to rip off any pads right now. Let's do it like this. Put away the flux. Because I need another hand here. Heat this up. So here it goes. Okay. It's halfway out, no. Come on. We can do this. There we go. It's out. So, this magic thingamajig has jumpers on there, but I don't know which ones. What's the name of the orange tool? This one here, I don't know, but it came with my 20 euro soldering iron from Amazon. It had a whole set of these, and I use it for pulling chips and stuff, and there are different hooks. There's also one with a hook for PLCC sockets, etc. Yeah. Anyway, so what we can see here, turn off this fan at least. There are jumpers on here, but I don't know if these are correct and what they should look like. They are H2L, H1L, H3L, and H4L. So, which is which? I have no idea. Lötbesteck, okay, I never heard that. Ian, do you know which jumper settings there should be? Is there anything in the assembly instructions? Okay, it should be 1L, 2L, 3H, 4L. Okay. L, 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 and 3 should be H. Which they are. It's exactly how they are set. Yeah, I checked the wiki and these are correct, sadly. I was hoping that there's something wrong. I mean, I can reflow the pins here, which shouldn't at least hurt. Make them look a bit nicer. But I think they were fine to begin with. Question is, could it still be the problem, the issue with the Opti chipset? Which I had no issue so far with other cards or so, but of course this is homebrew. And does the factory soldering on the DAC module look okay? That's a good question. From the top I would say that looks solid, yeah. I would say that's fine. Nothing, because this is, I think, machine soldered. The jumpers on the bottom, they look a bit weird, but I mean, we heard the pop. Shouldn't the pop indicate that the DAC is working? Can you show the backside of the card? When the card was in the holder, it did look like bridges on the DMA IRQ blocks. Ah, okay. I can show that, sure. Oh, this is actually this is a bit more flux residue. Let's show it here. This here, that white stuff, that is actually not solder but flux residue. Pop means the DAC is working. True. Yeah. I can touch up this, but this is really only this is just flux residue, which actually evaporates when I go on it, and it looks whitish because it came into contact with the isopropyl alcohol. So I think that's also solid. Reflowing this one, but that probably also good. Fine. Here the jumpers on my DAC were lopsided as well. Okay, yeah. But that didn't stop it from working, right? Even though they were lopsided, I guess. I would put in the duck again, because we figured out it seems to be working. This looks all fine. I don't see any solder bridges on this one. Any other ideas? What might be wrong? The Pico also looks fine, from what I can tell. I need to clean this up a bit. Yeah, this is better. You could try the other DAC if you have a spare, just in case. I do have them, but I will have to search for them. I did some ordering of parts, but now I have a couple of boxes which are not yet labeled, so not that much luck there, at least not for tonight. Now I have residue on the pins. Oh, that's not going to plan tonight. They won't fit in the holes anymore. Dumb question, but you're plugging your audio into the jack on the DAC, not the MIDI out, right? Oh. I will be doing it now. That's not a dumb question, that was an excellent question actually. Okay, got it in. So let's solder the duct back into place and plug it, the whole thing, in the right way, not the MIDI way. I think we heard MIDI signals probably, which explains why it was only on one channel, because the other channel is the input, I guess. That would be funny. Oh boy. Yeah, I probably took the big orange socket, phone socket, instead of the small black one. So I think what we heard was MIDI clock or something. Pretty amazing, actually. Okay, got it. The pop was debugging messages being printed over serial. Brilliant, brilliant. I tell you. Okay, here we go. And now I'm plugging it into the black socket. Turning on the PC. So, taking all bets. Will we have sound in Monkey Island? Oh, actually I need to run sound Pico GUS init. Okay, that's done. It already works. We've got audio. Only Adlib, but at least. So, I tried to make a cheap Gravis Ultrasound, but all I got was a cheap Adlib instead. I'm turning this down a little bit. Yeah, amazing. That works. Okay, almost 11. Let's try to make the GUS work. But we do only one more try, okay? I should be able to flash the ultrasound hardware, hopefully, if everything's fine. The question would be, Ian, if the flashing from DOS doesn't work, does this hint at an incompatibility with the Opti chipset? Could that be why it also doesn't work in the ultrasound mode? Because for flashing it needs DMA or whatever to work. Monkey R only for Roland mode or for GUS 2 working? Guillermo, first we need to get the ultrasound firmware again. You can only use one of the firmwares, Adlib, CMS, Tandy or ultrasound. It can run only one emulation at a time. You probably got the Adlib with the most transistors ever, yeah, that's true. Flashing is I/O port access, okay. Was the software already loaded onto the Pi? Yeah, we loaded it just a couple of minutes ago. That may hint at incompatibility with Opti, yes, but flashing does not use IRQ or DMA. Okay. I implemented on Friday. Okay, Adlib works, that's brilliant. Let's try to reflash the hardware, okay? Let's fpc gus.uf2. Unable to open firmware. What did I? PG gus. Okay, so that does not work. I can't write to the Pi Pico. Thank you, everyone. I noticed. Thanks, I was familiar with the new songs, but of course, check SMD chips pins with tweezers on a microscope, maybe a loose pin causing some addressing issues. Okay, so I can't write. I can flash. I/O port access does work when there's already Adlib on there, so I/O port decoding has to work, I would say, right? And my guess is that when I do now try to initialize, it will be gone. No, it's actually still detecting as Adlib, which is nice. Guillermo, since the GUS firmware is not loaded, it doesn't help. It doesn't matter if I choose GUS in the setup. Isn't it just one coding? Yes, we could also rip out the Pico GUS and reprogram it on the Mac, which would be fine. It's running the Adlib firmware. Okay, good. So, shall we try one more thing? Shall I put on the jumper again? Reflash the GUS firmware and see if that now works. I don't have high hopes for it, but at least we would see Adlib works, flashing doesn't work, and GUS works or doesn't work. Would that be okay? Trying like that. It's worth trying, yes. If it doesn't work, so my next move would be perhaps to, in the coming days, to reactivate my 286 board and try the Pico GUS in there. Maybe it is a problem with the Opti chipset. I have no idea. Because in my opinion, since Adlib works, it shows that I/O port address decoding does work. Right? I would say that should be fine. Yeah, we can try Modmaster XT. That's good. What about Second Reality? Does Second Reality use DMA or does it also only use I/O ports? Okay, I'm gonna put the Gravis Ultrasound. Okay, so Second Reality would also be a good option. So now I don't have the LED. It reflashed. Let me switch back to the screen here. Ian, is that correct that the LED is not running? Before I had the LED on after the reboot. Retry. The LED flashed once, but then nothing. No LEDs, okay, good. So I'm gonna. I think the firmware is still on there because I didn't put the boot cell, push the boot cell button. I'm gonna remove the jumper. This time I thought of this myself. Okay. plugging it back in. Oh, where's the plug here? Not the orange one, but the black one. And turning on the PC. There we go. Okay, let's see if we can initialize this beast. No, doesn't work. So, we have the problem that in GUS mode it just doesn't work. So even if I would go to second reality or something, it just can't work. Yeah, fail to initialize the selected sound card. So flashing and Gravis Ultrasound firmware doesn't work. Question is why. Adlib mode works, so address decoding works. The question is in what is the commonality between flashing and the Gravis Ultrasound mode? Is there anything that's overlapping between those two? Like one of the ICs being used instead of in Adlib mode, for example? Is the PS-RAM used, or could still a non-functioning PS-RAM interfere with the flashing or something? I don't know. I have no ideas. So we have like a marginally working card. You may be really lucky and that only some address lines needed for Adlib. Okay. Do I have my let's see what we have here. So the Adlib runs on hexadecimal 388, which is binary 10001000. Okay, we need those two lines. And 240 would be how one question: how does the Pico GUS init talk to the Gravis Ultrasound to the Gravis Ultrasound emulation? Which port does it use? You used debug before to write to some place, right? So there must be something else apart from port 240 that is being used. Okay, for 240 is 11110000. So the upper nibble is basically set to ones. And the so let's write this down. Adlib is basically 100 1000, and the 240 that we're now using is 111000. Pico GUS init talks to it on 1D0H, 1D01, and 1D1H and 1D2H. Okay. Which is 11010000. Okay, got it. Okay. Uh, 240 hex. Yeah, did I mess that up? Oh yeah, you're right. Okay. 240 hex is 0. Second. 1 101 0 0 0 0 0 0. Right, that's because we need the 9th bit. And I think I also messed up this one, because that can't be 388 hex. 388 hex is... Okay, okay, my calculator only shows 8 bits. And I don't know how to view the upper bits. Okay, anyway, I think we won't make it today to get this to work. Basically, I'm a bit stumped. Adlib works. Flashing plus the Gravis Ultrasound doesn't work yet. It can't be only the PS RAM. It could be something here. Which of these chips, Ian, is used for the address decoding? U2, U4, or U3, or all of them? Which are the data lines, which are the addressing lines, basically? To me, they all look good, but I could, of course, in the coming days, use a microscope and really have a close look if I see anything that looks out of the ordinary. U2, U3, U4 are used for address decoding. Okay. And the interrupt and DMA go directly to the Pico, I think, right? Because I see here the trace is going here somewhere. Oh no, they're going first up to U5 and U6, I think. Right? Something like that. U2 for the top 2 bits. Okay. U3 for the next 4 bits, U4 for bottom 4. Okay, good. Good to know. So it could be that I need to work on one of these. But I won't be able to do that today. Unfortunately. Yeah. Either that, or it might be an incompatibility with the Opti chipset. IQ and DMA also go through U2. Okay. I see some traces going up there, yes. But I can't see where they go, because they go under the chip. Okay. Well, anyway. I think we have to call it a day, folks. Thank you very much for joining. Don't let this mishap distract you from the fact that this is a fabulous little card. I will post updates on my channel and on Mastodon with if I get this to work or if not. I hope I will get it to work. Yeah, the very first thing I will probably try is get the 286 to run and see that if it's the Opti chipset, basically, because then I would just point a finger at Ian and say fix it. But I have no clue why it would be that way, and I don't know, my 486 didn't have any issues with any other cards, but then again, this one is a brand new card with a weird module like the Pi Pico, so who knows what's happening there. I for sure can't tell because I can code quite okay, but I can't design hardware, and I know a little bit my way around PC technology from this era, but not on this low level. Actually, I know what I/O ports are, IRQs and DMAs, and I can program the DMA controller myself, at least when I look up the details. But I have no clue what's happening here on the hardware. Subilo says, I'm pointing at Ian all the time, works well. And Ian says, one question, what is your ISA bus speed? I don't know if it's configurable on that. It is. Shall we? How much does a complete self-soldering kit cost? Guillermo, I think Ian can tell you. Or you can also order everything yourself. I don't think Ian is currently selling those, but maybe he is. Let's check one last thing. Let's do the check. Let's press escape to get into the BIOS and check what the ISA speed is. Clock, video floppy fixed, boot sequence, more, first aid, okay. Cache, shadow, chipset, I think here it is. I think AT bus clock rate says 8.3 megahertz, which should be fine, I guess. I think 8.3 is fine, isn't it? Ian says, I'm out of parts, I can't sell anymore. 8.3 megahertz is okay, yeah. Too bad. I'm not sure about these. These I think the defaults. No extra weight states. Bus conversion ALEs multiple. I have no idea what this means. There's no help in this BIOS anyway. So next thing I will try, because it's the easiest, is to reactivate the 286 board, because I needed that for the CGA card anyway, and for testing the Hercules card from Gamma from the DOS Reloaded forum. So it is here, but it is just lying around and I have to rip out some parts. If that doesn't work, then I need to take a closer look at the board itself here. But from the looks of it, I would say this is all fine. I mean, it's at least partially working. And I would assume that U2 and U4 are working anyway, because Adlib works and that needs U2 and U4. So that can't be it. Mr. BIOS. Is there a Mrs. BIOS in Purple Magenta as well? If yes, I need that. Well, MR is not Mr. but Microid Research, but yeah, at first I honestly thought it was Mr. BIOS, which is quite neat. Yeah. I'm not sure what else to say. It was, of course, a lot of fun. It was not the result that I was hoping for, but it's always a bit of a gamble with homebrew hardware, and I'm not that bad at soldering, but SMD parts are not my strongest point, but I think with the hot air I did really a decent job, and at least from the looks of it I can't see any bridges or anything. I don't think I heated everything up too hot so that the chips died or something. I'm not sure about the DRAM, but my guess would be that as the I/O port stuff is not quite working, the DRAM is also not working correctly when we talk to it. So my hope is just that this thing is incompatible with the Opti chipset. But yeah, I'll post an update in the next couple of days. Let's see when I get the time to do that. But thank you everyone for joining. And Homemade Tech says something. I just realized you are the guy who made those programming in MS-DOS tutorials. Yes, let's code MS-DOS. Which there will be another one in the next weeks at some point. I'm waiting for some stuff. But there will be more Let's Code MS-DOS. But they always take a lot of work to prepare and result in not that many views, but I like to do those because I think they are not my worst work. So I'm a little bit proud of that. Yeah, make sure to subscribe if you want to, if you're interested in this kind of stuff, like C and assembly level programming. Relatively simple, and I try to explain everything that I do. Yeah, and it's basically all for 286, 386, 46 stuff. Nothing protected mode, everything running down to a 286 for sure. Some things maybe are slower than others, etc. But anyway, great crowd today. Thank you very much. It was a lot of fun. Ian, thank you for your support and for your help. I am sure we can get this running at some point. I really hope that it's just the chipset. So I hope everyone is having a good night. The folks from the US have a nice day. And join us for the next live stream or for the next regular video, which are always irregular because this is just a hobby. But yeah, so long. You can also follow me on Mastodon. I'm not active on Twitter anymore, but there's a pinned comment saying where you can find me on Mastodon. Also on DOS Reloaded forum if you're a German speaking fellow. Sometimes on Vogons, but not that much anymore. Yeah, otherwise you can reach out via YouTube, Gmail addresses, I think there. You can always support me as well. There's a few patrons who do that, and that's very appreciated. It helps me buy junk like this and buy new solder, etc., which is a nice thing. So have a very good night, a good day, or whatever the time of day is in your country, and see you next time. Bye.